I too, Minister, want to welcome you into the House today. Colleagues, there is no doubt that we, as all public representatives here today and throughout the Oireachtas, have been hearing from workers in the aviation industry. Their communications to us all have been of their deep concern about their industry, their own jobs, and indeed the knock-on effect it will have on their families and indeed loved ones. The aviation sector has been one of the hardest hit by COVID, and of course all supports for the industry need to be kept in place. There is no doubt we need to protect air routes during the pandemic, but it is also vital that we protect the many thousands of jobs in the industry. Thousands of workers in the aviation sector, from pilots, cabin crew, airport staff, those involved in leasing has been mentioned, to ground crew and cleaning staff, are utterly dependent on the state at this time. In recognising that supports have been given to workers through the temporary wage subsidy scheme and employment wage subsidy scheme, and indeed, while some structural supports have been given to the aviation industry, the industry requires a survival package. There is no other way to describe this. The aviation industry is, of course, an innocent victim of what has happened with COVID-19, and there are thousands of families out there looking for leadership and indeed protections. They are not, in the opinion of many, seeing enough of an effort from government at this time to save the industry. Such an important industry that connects, as has been said in this House today, our island with the rest of the world, and as an extension connects our economy with every other economy throughout the world. This industry can ensure that when our recovery begins, it will be much faster because of the connections that our aviation industry have built up over a long period of time. But without the necessary support of your government, Minister, when that recovery time comes, and we all hope it will come as soon as possible, this industry may not be in a position to offer us many of those connections and routes that so many have worked so hard on. The question so many of those families and homes so dependent on aviation are asking are, will those airplanes currently on the ground and in airport hangars in Dublin, Ireland West, Shannon and Cork be there in a month or 6 months, or will they all be sold off? Of course, every aircraft sold in this way represents potential job losses for this country. Minister, I also wanted to ask you another relevant question regarding this debate. I continue to get a lot of representation from constituents who continue to have difficulty with requiring refunds for flights that have not taken off or have been cancelled due to government regulations and, of course, current health advice. I would appreciate if you would let us know the current position with such refunds. With the forthcoming holiday abroad season likely to be adversely affected also, it is important that those that are seeking refunds can get answers and can get an answer to their queries as quickly as possible. It is not good enough, the delays that those have experienced, and your response here today, Minister, would be appreciated by many. We all listened in yesterday to the Health Amendment Bill 2021. There is no doubt that this bill will have implications for this industry. However, there is also no doubt that the quicker we vaccinate our own population and keep out any further variants of this dreadful disease, then we will see a quicker recovery time for this industry also. The Labour Party proposed an amendment yesterday, Minister, that would result in mandatory hotel quarantine for all other states, not including Northern Ireland. We have tabled it again for the Seanad debate here on Monday. For the last number of months, we have proposed a national aggressive suppression strategy. I, for one, would be very interested in what you, as the Minister for State for Transport, think about why we feel that mandatory hotel quarantine is only currently essential for 20 countries. As our party leader Alan Kelly said yesterday in the Dáil, this virus is on tour. It does not know that it can only board a plane from one of those 20 countries in order to come to Ireland. It could quite easily board a plane from a country that is not on the list because it travelled from its home country into that country and then booked its flight to Ireland. As Deputy Kelly went on to say, we are not doing everything we can for a particular period in order to protect our people. Why is the following equation against the Irish people? On the one hand, the government is limiting everybody's travellings to a distance of 5 kilometres. On the other, we are allowing people in from all over the world, and even though it is a legal requirement, trusting them to quarantine at home for 14 days. Minister, if we do not introduce mandatory hotel quarantine from all other countries outside of this island, then in my opinion and the opinion of many others, we are only delaying the reopening of this industry we are talking about here today. We are not being serious about the thousands of jobs that each passing month threatens. We are not trying to protect an industry that will and can play such an important part in the recovery in post-COVID Ireland. As our Labour Transport spokesperson, Deputy Duncan Smith, said yesterday in the Dáil, the aviation sector is again being told that it will be at the end of the queue. There is no survival package for it. There is nothing to protect the workers' jobs or their terms and conditions. There's nothing to protect the companies to ensure that when we beat this virus, we will have a sector that we will help drive our economy once again. Minister, what the industry needs is a survival package, but also a government who will introduce mandatory hotel quarantine from all other states for all non-essential travel. Yes, there will be short-term implications for the industry, but if we continue to carry on as we have done with a level 5 restrictions, followed by a reduced lockdown and then possibly a further lockdown, then we more than likely will have an industry that employs thousands and contributes so much to the economy of this island, and it will be lost.